Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to show 214 with yours truly, the hippie bear. So that would be me. I'm so happy to be back. Now we are going right back, straight back to the original theme of this show, which is the true interpretation of the words of Jesus Christ, which I have been commanded and ordained to deliver unto you, like nobody has ever done before. Very few. I wish there were more. Okay, so right now, without much further ado, we read the King James Version. I hope you don't mind. Culture yourself in the original form of the English language back from the 1600s. And here's Jesus speaking without much further ado. We're in chapter 10 of the book of St. Mark and verse 51. Here goes Jesus Christ, the surfer of Galilee. And Jesus answered and said unto him, What wilt thou that I should do unto thee? The blind man said unto him, Lord, that I might receive my sight. And Jesus said unto him, Go thy way, thy faith hath made thee whole. And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus in the way. He became a disciple. And it's interesting to see that Jesus did not give the glory unto himself, but he told the blind man the glory was his faith. Thy faith hath made thee whole. He didn't say, I have made thee whole, my powers. No, he said, thy faith hath made thee whole. In another part, he said, according to your faith, be it unto you. So, have a little faith. Now we move along to chapter 11 of the book of St. Mark, okay? And they were on their way they came nigh to Jerusalem, down to Bethpage and Bethany at the Mount of Olives, okay? And he sent forth two of his disciples. Okay, so Bethany was where Mary and Martha and, two lovely sisters and their brother Lazarus, Jesus' homeboy, is one of his best friends. They lived around there, so that's why they were always going around the Mount of Olives, And I guess they must have enjoyed the olives. They have wonderful, delicious, juicy, meaty olives in Israel. Okay. And so Jesus sent two of his disciples, and he said unto them, Go your way unto the village over against you, and as soon as ye be entered into it, ye shall find a colt tied, whereon never man sat. Loose him and bring him. And if any man say unto you, Why do you do this? Say ye that the Lord hath need of him, and straightway he will send him hither. I have a suspicion that the owner of the colt or whatever, the donkey, the colt, was a friend of Jesus. So anyway, that's what happened. And then what happened with that was that he rode it into Jerusalem, right? And people started crying. He made a triumphant entrance into Jerusalem, and the people would were saying, Hosanna, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that cometh in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. So they were praising him, the multitudes. He came triumphant. He made a triumphant entrance into the city of Jerusalem, right? And they were all praising him. And then Jesus entered into Jerusalem and into the temple. And when he had looked round about upon all things, and now the eventide was come, he went out unto Bethany with the 12. And okay, so he looked around, he checked everything out, he went unto Bethany, and they were hungry, and he saw a fig tree, on the way, he saw a fig tree far off, and he was very happy to find the fig tree, because they were very hungry from all that walking and riding, and but there was no fruit, there was no leaves, there was no figs, there was just leaves. And Jesus answered and said unto it, No man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. So Jesus was kind of in a mood. I think he was sort of in a bad mood that day. He cursed the fig tree. right? Because they couldn't find any figs, and I think he might have had a problem with Mary, one of his, his main squeeze, his girlfriend, the sister of Lazarus. He might have had a problem because they were hanging around Bethany and everything, and then they came back and he checked out everything in Jerusalem, and then they were hungry, and he cursed the poor innocent fig tree. I mean, just because it didn't have any figs on it. And when they came to Jerusalem, Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables and of the money changers, and the seats of them that sold doves, and would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. And he taught, saying unto them, Is it not written, My house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer, but ye have made it a den of thieves. So Jesus was definitely in a violent, aggressive mood that day. First of the fig tree, taking it down, the poor fig tree. Then he displayed a real scene, of violence and aggressiveness at the temple, and threw the tables and spilt the money and cursed them too. He was in a mood that day, and then the scribes and the chief priests, when they heard that, they wanted to destroy him. But they were afraid because the people were, the humble, the proletariat, the street people were astonished at his doctrine. He was setting the captives free from religious tyranny. He was preaching freedom to love God without religion, just like the hippie pastor here, yours truly. And then when they came back in the morning, they passed by that same fig tree, and it was all dried up. So his cursing of the fig tree really worked. He cursed that tree. Master, and then whatever. And Peter was amazed. He said, "Look at the fig tree which you cursed. It's all dried up." And Jesus answering said unto them, Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. So Jesus was giving him a little lesson there on how you can do anything. You can tell a mountain to go take a hike and it'll go, all right? Just like he cursed the fig tree. A little lesson of faith, Therefore, and continues Jesus, Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. Wow, so that's a beautiful lesson. And again, there Jesus talking about faith, that if you desire something and you pray, the key to getting the answer is to believe that you receive. Okay, and sometimes we get the answer, but we don't get the answer that we wanted or that we expected. But trust God. When you ask for something, God answers and gives you the answer, and it might not be what you were expecting, but the answer is given, which shall be given unto you if you ask with faith. Just like our Lord Jesus just had said. Here he goes, he continues, And when ye stand praying, forgive, if ye have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses. But if ye do not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses. Whoa. So that's the key. Even on the cross, Jesus he forgave his enemies when he was dying in extreme agony and pain, because forgiveness is the key to heaven. Not holiness. No, bullshit. Not holiness, not saintliness, not sinlessness. We're all sinners. Forgiveness is the key. I love you, my friends. See you in the next show. Adios, amigo.